Coming up on this episode, this show had everything a kid dreamed of. Dinosaurs, cavemen, astronauts, time travel, a rocket ship. It looked like CBS had a big hit on their hands. Kids loved it, but critics absolutely hated it. Thanks for stopping by. I did not know that. Classic TV Edition. Please like and subscribe.
Please stop saying don't forget to like and subscribe.
Sure, but how are we going to get followers?
If you were a kid in the 1960s, you might remember singing this.
It's about time, it's about space, it's about Julie's ugly face.
Or,
It's about time, it's about space, it's about time I slap your face. Hey!
so in this episode, we're going to look at It's About Time, one of the more truly unique programs in TV history. The show started off very strong in the fall of 1966, finishing in the top 10 in their first month of programming. In the first week of October, it was in 7th place in the ratings. No easy feat for a new program. This show had everything a kid dreamed of. Dinosaurs, cavemen, astronauts, time travel, a rocket ship. It looked like CBS had a big hit on their hands. Kids loved it, but critics absolutely hated it, and they'd rip it any chance they got, much like they did to Gilligan's Island. Merchandise from the show was everywhere. Did anyone have an It's About Time lunchbox? There was also a comic book and even a board game. Yet by the spring of 1967, it was in 81st place in the ratings and canceled after only 26 episodes. How did that happen? We'll look at that today. I've done some previous episodes on classic TV shows that burst upon the scene as something new and different, only to flame out and be quickly forgotten. Shows like Captain Nice and Mr. Terrific and It's About Time was one of those. When you mention any of those programs just a few years later, you'd often just get a blank stare from most people. They were totally forgotten. It's About Time was created by Sherwood Schwartz, the same guy who brought you Gilligan's Island. It used the same music, same slapstick humor, and looked like it was shot on the same jungle-type plot. The storyline revolved around two astronauts named Mac and Hector, who somehow broke the time barrier and ended up back in the Stone Age. A few of the cave people were pretty recognizable actors, known for their comedy. Imogene Coco, who'd been on Your Show of Shows with Sid Caesar, and Joe E. Ross, who had just played Officer Tootie on Car 54, Where Are You? It also had Mike Mazurki, a familiar face who often played tough guys and had been a pro wrestler. Like I'd mentioned, the show started out very strongly, but then took a serious nosedive. So what caused that to happen? It was actually a combination of problems that caused the program's quick demise. Let's look at what happened. Schwartz recognized some of the problems. He said that the show had become too repetitious. Too many of the episodes seemed to revolve around the astronauts being in danger of the same things, like dinosaurs, cavemen. He said another problem was that the cave people spoke broken English, and listening to them talk became tedious.
Boss say want to kill. Where you come from?
Schwartz also felt the prehistoric setting was not appealing to look at, with its caves and dirt roads. Another problem the series faced was that it was up against some pretty stiff competition in its time slot Sunday. It was on at the same time as the always popular The Wonderful World of Disney and another science fiction show called Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. As the show sank, Schwartz decided to do something radical to try to stop his sinking ship. In mid-season, he totally reversed the premise of the show. In episode 19, called 20th Century Here We Come, Gronk helps the astronauts obtain a diamond, and they are able to fix their ship with it. But the diamond had been attached to an idol the cave people worship, so the other cavemen wanted him dead. So the astronauts have to take Gronk and his family with them back to the future.
Back to the future!
The Beverly Hillbillies were riding high in the ratings at the time, and I imagine they thought they could do the fish out of water type show by bringing cave people to the 20th century. And from what I came across, the ratings did improve a bit after that. But it wasn't enough to keep the show on the air, and in March of 1967, the show got axed. I was in early elementary school, and I was a huge fan of the show at the time. I was absolutely stunned when I found out it wouldn't be on TV anymore. I couldn't grasp the concept. I thought the shows that you watched and liked would always be on TV. I didn't even understand what cancellation meant. I kept waiting for it to come on in reruns like Gilligan's Island did, but in those days, if a program didn't make at least 100 episodes, they were not syndicated or rerun. That's why when programs you liked only ran one season, they pretty much disappeared forever. That is until the internet and places like YouTube and tapes and DVDs came along where you could watch them again. So how many of you recall this show? Was there a series that you really loved that one day disappeared and never ran in syndication? Hey, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Better